Welcome to the S2K mobile class, Eliminate Paper Signatures with Mobile Proof of Delivery. My name is Joe Ciacia, and today I'm going to take you through the features and functions of our Mobile Proof of Delivery app. This application replaces the process of capturing signatures on paper with a clean, efficient, paperless process that you can use on a mobile device. We have many customers that would send drivers out with an invoice or a delivery ticket and then have that customer sign that physical ticket and then take that signed picture or copy of that paper back to the office and then put it on a flatbed scanner, scan it in, and then attach it to the order in the back office. And that's a very cumbersome process, a lot of different steps involved, and this really replaces that. It allows the user to capture a signature, they can capture photographs, they can process orders as well as returns, they can reject products, reject orders, they even can do cash receipt posting. So if they're collecting cash out in the field as they do these deliveries, they can also collect cash. Okay, so this is the proof of delivery menu, and basically what the driver will do to begin his deliveries is he'll sign in. All right, so he'll sign in to the application, and then what they're going to do is they're going to download all their current route deliveries. Okay, so the driver does not have to be connected after they do the download. So when they do the initial download, they have to be connected via Wi-Fi or 5G. They have to download all of the deliveries to the device. But once they're downloaded, they can work completely disconnected from the internet. They don't have to be connected after that. And everything they do in the field, confirming all the deliveries, taking pictures, getting signatures, collecting cash, that'll all be saved locally to the mobile device. And then that will all sync up when the driver, returns and syncs back up to the S2K enterprise system. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do after they do, do their route deliveries, they're going to hit Start Route. If it doesn't automatically default the route and the truck in, they can enter those in. The odometer reading is an option. You can turn it on or off. So if you want to capture an odometer, starting odometer reading and then an ending odometer reading, you can do that. Okay, so you enter that information in, you click on Start Route, and you're going to see that the system then displays all the current deliveries for that route in stop order. Okay, we also provide a Google Maps view of those orders so that if the driver just wants a visualization of all the different stops, they can see that in Google Maps. Okay, so basically what the driver will do is when they get to their first stop, they will just touch the screen at the first stop, and then the system will bring up the orders, and in this case they also have a return that they have to pick up, so it'll bring up all the orders or any returns that are flagged for pickup at the first stop here. Okay, any instructions that were on those transactions will be also displayed here, so gives a lot of options to the driver. If for whatever reason the customer at this time was rejecting the delivery, they have an option to reject the entire delivery. At that time, the system will create a credit for the for the order that went out the door, and it really depends on how what you send out with the customer. So upon confirming the route, if you send out invoices, then the system is going to generate a credit. If you send out a pro forma invoice, then any adjustments you make on the proof of delivery app will actually automatically adjust the invoice when they come back, and the customer will get a clean copy of the invoice. So it's really up to you. It's a setup option in the back office as to whether or not you want to generate invoices when the driver goes out and use credits, or do you want to generate proof of deliveries. And just from our experience, if most of your deliveries are clean, meaning you don't have a lot of rejections or a lot of items that you correct out in the field, then it's probably better to send them out with an invoice. But if there are a lot of rejections or corrections, then maybe it's better to send them out with a pro forma invoice and then just correct the invoice and give them a nice clean copy of the final invoice when the driver returns. Okay, so it's up to you. System can work either way. Okay, so how do you confirm a delivery? Well, you just simply touch the screen to bring up that order, and the system will bring up all the items that are on that order. And you can have many different things you can do here. You can scan each item. So if you're scanning cases off the truck, you can have a Bluetooth scanner on the mobile device, or there are a lot of options where you can have devices that have built-in scanners today, and you just scan the cases as they come off the truck. You also can use the plus minus here, with the finger. So you can touch the screen and just say, I'm delivering, 1, 2, 3, and maybe I'm subtracting 1. You can do that. The screen also allows you to review anything that's still pending, anything that's been delivered, or all. Okay. Another option would be to use the deliver all option. So on the upper right-hand corner in the little 3-bar menu, if you click that, you'll have the ability to deliver all. So some people do the deliver all, and then they use the minus just to subtract anything that they may not be delivering. Okay. So if the total items flagged for delivery don't equal what you are delivering. So if you're delivering anything short, then this screen will automatically come up when you try to end. So it'll say, okay, why aren't you delivering this item? All right. And then basically what you can do is there's a drop down here that allows you to flag the item as to why you are not delivering it. So in this case, it was damaged. You can enter any comments, or maybe the customer just didn't want it, he ordered too much, or whatever it may be. You can enter some comments, and you can also take a picture. Okay, so any short deliveries, the driver can do that. And like I said early on, if the driver went out with an invoice, this would automatically create a credit for any items that were not, delivered in full. Okay, if this driver went out with a pro forma invoice, then the driver, this transaction here will fix the invoice, and they'll get a clean copy of the invoice. Okay. So as you can see, as you go through the deliveries, once everything's been confirmed, then the driver simply, touches the little check mark that they're done with this delivery. And as I said earlier, they can collect payment. So if this was a COD, the payment screen would kind of pop automatically that they'd have to collect payment. But if not, it's optional. They can collect payment at the time of delivery. And you can see I'm collecting a check here. So I'm putting in my tender amount, and I'm putting in a check number. They can collect cash. They can also do credit card processing if they need to. So they can collect some type of payment. What you're going to see later on is that this payment processing is directly interfaced with the S2K ERP back office to the accounts receivable module. And you're going to see later on that we have cash batches for each driver that we are creating based on their payments collected in the field that you will have to settle when the driver returns. Okay. All right, so if I'm done and I'm ready to confirm, so let's say I'm clicking on this check and I'm not collecting any cash check or credit card payment, the system will say, are you sure? Once you confirm this, you can't update the order. You'll say confirm, excuse me, and then this screen to the right will pop up, and you'll be able to capture the signature. Okay. We also have an area which I did not display in this demo where you type in, the formal name in case the signature looks like this. You can, know who a signature it was, and then you save this, right? So what happens in the system is that is a JPEG, an image file. We also merge that signature into a proof of delivery ticket, and we generate a PDF. Okay, that PDF can be printed immediately, or it can be emailed to the customer. And it is also stored in the back office in the folder system for that order. So when users come back to the office, if they ever needed to, re-see the signature or, give another copy of that proof of delivery ticket, they can do that. Okay. All right. So let's also process the return. So now, if I was to process the return, I would basically do the same thing. I would scan the items that are being returned, so I'm validating that the customer is returning the right items. Just like a shipment, I can, have a partial where I'm not collecting everything today. Maybe I'm only, returning part of the RA. The system will keep that RA open. In the back office, if they didn't return everything, the back office can choose to cancel the remaining balance on the RA or continue to leave it open. But the same process occurs, right? So you'll check everything off, and then when you're done, you'll hit the check mark. You'll capture the contact name. So this is where you actually type in the person's name. You can also take pictures here, so you can see I attach some pictures of the items that I am returning. Okay. Once again, I will confirm and then capture the signature. Okay. So each transaction that stop is confirmed, and I'm capturing a signature with individually. Okay. And then I would go to my next stop. Okay. On the next stop, I'm just going to show you that one of the options you have on the top is an option to reject the delivery. Okay, so there's a drop down as to why you are rejecting this delivery. This is just a table that you'll set up, and you can just basically say, the customer rejected delivery because this. Okay, and then I would flag that delivery, okay, as rejected. Okay, so that's how you do a delivery rejection. Okay, so some of the other things you can do is off of the delivery listing here, in the hamburger menu, if you click that, you'll have the ability to look at account information or pay an open invoice. So maybe the customer is just paying you, for against his balance. He's not actually paying for the delivery, but maybe he just wants to give you a check or cash or some payment for an open invoice. So the drivers can collect that as well. All the payment option, features are optional. You can turn them off. So if you don't want drivers, collecting any payments, you can turn them off. Okay. You also can do a sales order inquiry, which allows the driver to answer any questions for any open orders that may be out there. So that's another nice function. So let's see what those screens look like. If I click on account information on the right-hand side, you're going to see what that screen looks like. It's basically a summary aging for that customer account. And you can see from there, I can look at open invoices, open AR, AR history, excuse me. I can process a payment if I wanted to, or I can look at payment history, payments they've made in the past. So there's a lot of different options. So if I click on open AR, okay, I'm going to see all the open invoices. And I can drill into these invoices and see the details and even reprint one. Like I said, if I have a printer available, I can reprint one, or I can email a copy of that invoice to the customer. So I have a lot of options. But the other thing I can do is I can touch the screen and say I want to make a payment against this invoice. Okay, so when I do that, the screen to the right will appear and say, how much do you want to pay? So you can pay the invoice in full. You can do a partial payment. Okay, whatever you'd like to do. You can email a copy of this invoice to the customer, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of different things that you can do when you touch on that invoice. You can view the order details, email, apply a payment, whatever you'd like. And as you go through these invoices, you're seeing the system is keeping track of, okay, and then this invoice he's paying, this invoice he's paying, and there's going to be a total amount, to collect. Okay, so when you're done, when you hit plus here, and for collecting the money, the system will ask you, okay, how much are you collecting? Are you getting a check or a cash? Is there an overpayment involved? What's the check number? Okay, and as you're going to see in a few minutes, this will create a cash batch automatically back in the S2K enterprise system. Okay. All right, so some of the other screens that you can view. Order inquiry was one of them. So if a customer has a question on an order, you can look up all the orders. These are not just mobile orders. These are all the orders that are in the back office currently that are open, right? And on any one of them, you can drill in. You can see the items. You can let the customer know if any of those items are on back order for any reason. There's a total screen for order summary information. If this order wasn't being delivered on your own truck, you can look up tracking information and give a shipment number or something like that, as to how it is being delivered. Okay. So when you're ready to end your route, okay, if you try to end your route and you still have pending deliveries, the system is going to flag you and say, hey, you still have pending deliveries. Please either flag those stops as as skipped or missed, or actually make the final deliveries, right? So when you hit continue here, you're going to see the 2 stops that I missed. Okay, so I can review on this screen my completed, my pending, all of them. And here's where I'd have to flag, if I'm not going to make these deliveries, I would have to flag them as rejected or missed, or didn't go there, to be able to close out my route. Okay, so once I flag those as skipped, okay, then the system will allow me to end the route. And because I entered a starting odometer, number, I have to also enter a closing odometer number. Okay, so when I'm done, I hit submit, and then the right-hand side will show you a summary for the day. Okay, so each one of these is a different day for delivery. In my demo, I happen to do a lot of the deliveries on the same day, but you can see what you're going to see is, the date that delivery was made, the starting odometer reading, the ending odometer reading, how many orders were out there, and how many were delivered. Okay, so that's your route summary. And this is a sample of what the delivery confirmation, the proof of delivery ticket looks like. Okay, this is just, this would obviously be formatted based on your requirements. This is the standard ticket that is used, and you can see we capture the signature and the received by name, and then on the upper right-hand corner we're capturing the delivery date, the time, and then a geostamp of the longitude and latitude of where that delivery was made. Okay, so what happens with those PDFs is obviously you can print it or email right at the time of delivery, but they also get sent back to S2K, and in the S2K order inquiry system, in the folder for that order, that PDF is going to be stored there, so that if your customer service representatives ever need to send the customer another copy of this proof of delivery ticket, or just bring it up to see, they can do that right from S2K order inquiry. Okay. All right. So let's look at the cash settlement that I talked about. So if your drivers are collecting cash, one of the nice things about the mobile app is that it's completely interfaced with the S2K cash receipts module, so that what happens is in cash receipts, the system will automatically create cash batches for each driver. Okay, so you can see here are some examples of the drivers, and here's the total, checks and amount that was collected. Okay, so if you're going to settle a driver, you can use the search option up here to search by user ID and find, a specific driver and a specific, date. All right, and then basically you click on that. And then when you go in, it's going to show you these are all the checks and the check amounts, and this is the cash that was collected. And basically what you have to do is you just have to enter in the total that you've counted, right? So you enter in the total, the summary of all the cash and the checks, okay? And that should equal the deposit total. Okay, and then the payments are automatically applied to the customer account. So when you're done, if there was a variance, you can say accept the variance, and then you post it, and those payments are automatically applied to the customer, and then a variance report will print out. So if you wanted to charge back the driver for any variances, you can. Okay, so this is just an example of the driver settlement report. This is an Excel version of it. All right, and you can see we show you cash checks and any variances. So if there were some variances, you can charge back the driver if you need to. Okay, so that's a great option that the mobile app is completely interfaced with the cash receipt application as well. All right, so that's it. Thank you for taking this class. And if you have any questions on mobile proof of delivery, you can attend the Ask the Experts class at 4 p.m. You would be wanting to attend the Ask the Experts for inventory and warehouse. Okay, so we're treating this as a warehouse type function. So if you have any questions on mobile proof of delivery, attend the 4 p.m. Ask the Experts under S2K Warehouse. Thank you.